Hello everyone, good day to all the grade 10 students of Pambuhan National High School. This is your Sir Crisanto Shervo and welcome again to another math video lesson for grade 10. And for today's topic, we will be discussing all about how to interpret the measures of position. So let us start with a review of what you have already learned about the measures of position. So I'll give you 5 seconds for each question to think about your answer. First, the median score can also be equal to what decile? The median score can also be equal to what decile? Go. And what is your answer? Fifth decile, and you are correct. Next, the lower quartile can be equal into what percentile? The lower quartile can be equal into what percentile? 5 seconds. And that is the 25th percentile. That is correct. Next, which decile determines 70% of the data? Which decile determines 70% of the data? Go. And your answer is 7th decile. Next, the upper quartile can be equal into what percentile? The upper quartile can be equal into what percentile? Go. That is 75th percentile. And lastly, which quartile determines 50% of the data? Which quartile determines 50% of the data? And what is your answer? That is the second quartile. Remember, class, that for quartiles, that is the score points which divided into 4 equal parts, and we have 3 quartiles. The first quartile, which is also considered as the lower quartile, the second quartile, which is the median, and the third quartile, which is also the upper quartiles. Okay, so that is all about the measures of positions, quartiles, deciles, and percentiles. Now, let us proceed to the next activity. So this time, I will be showing you pictures and I want you to describe what you see in the picture. First, so what can you say about this picture? So that is an interpreter in the Miss Universe. That is correct. Next, how about this one? What do you see in this picture? So that is a teacher is explaining or interpreting the data. Okay. And next. All right. So what do you see in this picture? So that is dancing and interpretative dance. How about this one? Okay. So what can you say about this picture? So, someone is interpreting what the newscaster is saying through sign language. Okay. So, what can you say about the picture shown? So they have similarities, no? They are similar. And what are their similarities? Of course, they are all about interpretation. So what we have just undertaken, class, is an important skill for our lesson in this video. So for today's topic, you will be able to interpret the measures of position. And these are our particular objectives. So first, we will illustrate quartiles, deciles, and percentiles. And second, we will interpret the measures of position. And third, we will appreciate the importance of interpreting the values of measures of position. So let us start with the quartiles. Now remember class that quartiles are the score points which divide the distribution into 4 equal parts. Okay, so this is the quartile 1, this is the quartile 2, and this is the quartile 3. And quartile 1 represents the 25% of the distribution, quartile 2 represents the 50% of the distribution, and quartile 3 represents the 75% of the distribution. Okay, so let us have this problem. Marian says the entrance exam at the University of Eastern Philippines College of Engineering is so difficult. There were 500 takers, including her. Her score is 60 out of 80. Her score belonged to the first quartile. The question: would you agree with Marian that the test is difficult? Okay, so Marian said that the entrance exam at the UEP College of Engineering was so difficult, but then she got a score of 60 out of 80, and it belongs to the first quartile. But then she said that the test is difficult. So, do you think that is true? Is it correct? So let us prove. So let us have these guide questions. So, if the passing was 75%, would she have passed the test? So, remember that Marian got a score of 60. Diba? 60 ang nakuha ni Marian. So, ilang percentage kaya yan? So, how will you compute for that? So, use the score. Remember how to compute that? Score divided by the total number of items times 100%. And that is equal to 75%. So, her score 60, it has a rating of 75%. So, if the passing was 75%, so therefore, yes, she passed the test. Ano? Okay. Now, about what percentage of test takers passed the test and about what percentage of test takers failed the test? So, ilan ang nakapasa at ilang percent ang hindi nakapasa? So, we can clearly give our answer by illustrating that in our quartiles. So remember that the score 60 belongs to the first quartile. Ano? And that is the 25%. Ano? The 25% below, yun yung mga hindi nakapasa. And yung 60 above, ano? Yun ang mga nakapasa. So therefore, how many percent of the test takers passed? So that is, so from here going to the right, that is 75%. So 75% passed the test, and then how many percent failed the test? So that is only 25%. No? So 75% passed the test and 25% failed the test. So did the majority of the class pass or fail? Of course. So kasi nga 75% passed the test, so the majority of the class passed the test. So was the test easy or difficult? What do you think? Of course, kasi mas madami yung nakapasa, 75% yung nakapasa. So therefore, the test was easy. So that means that Marian was wrong, no? So Marian was wrong when he said that the test was difficult. So madali lang yung exam kasi 75% of the test takers passed the test and only 25% failed the test. So this is how we solve and we interpret this problem. All right, next, let's proceed to deciles. Remember, class, that the deciles are the 9 score points which divide into 10 equal parts. So this is how we illustrate deciles. So from decile 1 to decile 9, and decile 1 represents 10% of the distribution, and so on. So for example, Mr. Cerdito gave a test to his students. Jester finished their test in 40 minutes. this time is the second decile of the allotted time. So what does this mean? Okay, so the 40 minutes that Jester had finished the exam, and that is only the second decile of the allotted time. So this is how we illustrate the decile. So second decile represents 20% of the distribution, and that is only 40 minutes that Jester had finished the exam. So what percentage of the students have finished the test in less than 40 minutes? So this one, ito, decile 2 below. So how many percent? So that is 20%. So 20% of the students finish the test in less than 40 minutes. And next, what percentage of the students have finished the test in more than 40 minutes? So this one. So from decile 2 to the right. So how many percent are there? So the percentage of the students that have finished the test in more than 40 minutes, that is 80%. So 80% of the students have finished the test in more than 40 minutes. So what does this mean? So it means that a low decile is considered good because it means that Jester finished the test in a short period of time. So that is how we interpret this problem. Next, another problem. Mark is a secretary in one big company in Makati City. His salary is 40,000 pesos and in the 7th decile. Should Mark be satisfied about his salary or not? Explain your answer. So 40,000 pesos and it is in the 7th decile. So what does it mean? So here are our guide questions. So what percentage of the employee has a salary of which is less than 40,000? So 70% and below. Those are the employees that receives a salary which is less than 40,000. So 7 decile kasi so that is 70%. And what percentage of the employee has a salary of which is greater than 40,000? So that is 30%. So 30% of the employees are receiving a salary greater than 40,000 pesos. So what do you think? Should Mark be satisfied about his salary or not? Of course, he must be satisfied because 70% of the employees receiving a salary that is less than 40,000, while only 30% of the employees are receiving a salary that is greater than his salary. So mas madami yung employees na mas mababa ang sahod kesa sa kanya, 70%. So therefore, he must be satisfied about his salary. Okay, so that's all about how we interpret the deciles. Next, we come to the percentiles. Okay, so remember that percentiles are the 99 score points which divide the distribution into 100 equal parts. So 99 score points. So it can be 99 percentile. So but then here we only have illustrated the 10th percentile up to 90th percentile. So pwede yan 45th percentile and so on. Now, so 10th percentile represents 10%, 40th percentile represents 40% and so on. So for a problem, for example, 25 scores in a mathematics test were recorded and 76 was the 50th percentile. Only one student got a score of 76. How many students scored higher than 76? And how many students scored lower than 76? Okay. So if there are 25 scores in mathematics and that 76 was the 50th percentile, so pang ilan yung 76? So what is its position? So how are we going to solve for that? So first, we are going to locate the position of 76 in the distribution. out of 25 scores. So we will use this formula. The P sub k is equal to k over 100 times the quantity of n plus 1. No? So this is how we locate the position of the 50th percentile. So k is equal to 50 and n represents the number of scores. How many scores that were recorded? There are 25. So substituting further, so we will have k is 50. So 50 over 100 times n is 25. So 25 plus 1. And simplifying further, 50 over 100 will become 1/2. And 25 plus 1 is 26. So that is 1/2 times 26. And 1/2 times 26 or 1/2 of 26 is 13. So therefore, the 50th percentile is located at the 13th position. So illustrating this, so for 25 scores, that 76 is located at the 13th position, and that is the 50th percentile. That means 50% of the data. Ano? So yun yung location ng score na 76, nasa 13th position siya. So therefore, how many students scored higher than 76? So ito yun, yung to the right of 76. How many students are there scored higher than 76? So you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there are 12 students scored higher than 76. And how many students scored lower than 76? There are also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there are also 12 students scored lower than 76. Ano? So that is how we interpret the percentiles. Now let us apply. Mrs. Dawson gave an exam to her students in algebra. The students finished their exam in 30 minutes. And this time is in the 6th decile and in the 40th percentile. Okay. So if it is in the 6th decile, how many percent is this? So that is 60%. So how do we interpret this? So if we interpret the time in the 6th decile, that means that 60% of the students finished the exam in less than 30 minutes. And therefore, the 40% of the students finished the test in more than 30 minutes. Ano? So the 60% of the students finished the exam in less than 30 minutes, and the 40% of the students finished the test in more than 30 minutes. So how about for the 40th percentile? How will you interpret this? Who can interpret? Think about it. So it means that the 40% of the students finished the exam in less than 30 minutes. And so the 60% of the students finished the exam in more than 30 minutes. Ano? So ganon ang pag-interpret ng problem. Okay, so what do you think is the importance of knowing and interpreting the values of quartiles, deciles, and percentiles when dealing with large amounts of data? So do you think it is important to know and interpret the values of these measures of position? Why? Okay, so first, it gives us a way to see where a certain data point or value falls in a sample or distribution. Ano, nakikita natin kung nasaan siya yung position ng value, no, sa distribution. What else? It will also makes us easy to discover the smallest as well as the largest values of the distribution. So, madali din natin maintindihan or ma-discover ano yung lowest and the highest value in the distribution. And what else? It is also very useful when dealing with large amount of numbers. You know? So that's it. Those are the importance of knowing and interpreting the values of the measures of position. And what must be considered in interpreting the values? So what should be considered in interpreting the values? All right. So first, we must consider the information about the situation under considerations text. Ano ba yung problem? Ano yung nasa data? So yon, kung ano ang information, yun din ang ibibigay mo. And next, the data value representing the percentile. No? The data value representing the percentile. And of course, the percent of the individual or items whose data values are lower than the percentile. No? And lastly, the percent of individual or items with data values greater than the percentile. Those are the things that you must consider in interpreting the values. And what will happen if you illustrate the values in a wrong way? So, of course, you will also make a wrong interpretation. So that's it. This is all about our topic for this lesson, interpreting the values of quartiles, deciles, and percentiles. And always remember that before you interpret the values, it is very useful to illustrate first the data value in the illustration. Okay? So, no more question. So let's proceed to our short quiz. So here you are going to illustrate and interpret the following and these problems, and you will be rated according to this rubric. So you might answer this problem in the comment box below this video, or you may send it to my messenger. So, and this is your assignment. Thank you and God bless. This is your Sir Crisanto Shervo. Enjoy learning mathematics.